Guys, I don't know if you remember back when I got the first Vosteed knife we ever saw on the channel. Well, I have the budget version of that knife that has come in, and it's absolutely amazing. So let's turn this around and take a look at this knife from above. Guys, the first Vosteed knife I ever got on the channel was this one. Sort of. This is the budget version of the Vosteed Nightshade. I had the much more expensive version. This thing is great. So this is a more budget version of that knife. I'll put a video to the original up here, a link to it. But let's get this case out of the way so that we can talk about this one, because this one I actually like better. I had the original version in. It was a little bit bulkier. I think it had a thicker blade stock, if I remember, but I remember it being a little bit less slicey. This thing is incredible. So this is the Nightshade in 154 cm and green micarta. And I'm typically a fan of micarta. I'm typically not a fan of the green very often. I like the dark, like that brown or tan. Sometimes the greens are more subdued and I'm not a fan of them as much, but this is a much more vibrant green on this. And as you carry this, you're going to get hand oils and stuff on this, and it's going to even get more green. This is a reverse flick only knife. Man, that is so comfortable. This knife curves from tip to tail all the way, and it is a lot like a kukri. You've got this nice broad blade with a slight radius. It's almost a spear point blade like this. It looks a lot like a throwing knife that I had when I was a kid, but then it just cants down. And once you get used to that, you realize how good that is for cutting. This is an amazingly sharp knife. So it comes down on this full flat grind down to an insanely thin behind the edge. Now, I did a little bit of cutting with this, and I did notice it needs a sharpening. So I'm not going to hold that against it because this is the first day I've carried it. This came to me from Jared, and it wasn't as sharp, but it is still, even the parts that are sharp, when I say insanely sharp, the parts that are still like the factory edge hasn't been screwed up, ridiculously sharp. And the fact is, even on the dull parts, it still cuts adequately. So that tells you that's a really nice behind the edge thickness. The fact that it is a fully radius blade means that you can do sweeping cuts like this, but it is slight enough and has enough flat to it that you can still do some of the things you'd want to do with a flat blade and not have to worry about slipping off the material as easily. This would be a knife that would definitely fit the outdoor kind of a niche. That is so smooth. I was trying to keep it from doing it just to show you. It does not want to stay open. It wants to fall shut. And that is rock solid. There is no play in that. It is just that smooth. The Vosteeds are always really smooth. I've got a bunch of them here in from Jared, and they all are just impeccably smooth, dangerously smooth. The handles on this, like I said, are done in the green micarta, but they've also done a lot of weight reduction in the liners. So this is not a little knife. If I can get a good accurate measurement on it, it says it's 7.5, but you got to remember that's curved. It's probably significantly longer than that when you look from here to here. This thing is really light for the size of the knife. Access to the lock bar is perfect. Access to the lock bar is perfect, and the action on that is snappy on that reverse flick. This is one of the few knives that is reverse flick only that I would say I don't really think I would want a flipper tab on. I like the lines of this so well, so much. It's done so well. You've got that area here has got a little bit of jimping on it, and up here on the back where you've got good purchase, and it is good jimping. It's not been softened over. So on this first day, I'm pretty impressed with this. I did cut up a good bit of cardboard. Like I said, I was I realized that it did need a sharpening, and I was like, well, we'll still just give it this first day. But I was doing some cutting up here on the forward part. Just screams through everything. And with it being completely rounded like this, you can get way up on this, clear up on this, and just hold on to it in a pinch grip like this and do some sweeping cuts on that very tip. So really nice knife. Now, As always, pocket clip. Pocket clip is very secure in pocket. It's a nice deep carry pocket clip that is not too bad of a hotspot. So lots of stuff about this. I do have a couple negative things about it, and I will take you through that right after you guys hear from this video sponsor. Guys, you've heard me talk about Coffee Brand Coffee a bunch of times. I'm going to do it again real quick. Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor. They are a great company sponsoring small channels like mine, but they also are a guilt-free purchase because they do not practice any politics. They have a money-back guarantee, and they roast their coffee on demand. So if you're interested in it, my link down below in the videos saves you 10% at checkout, sometimes more depending on what they've got going on as far as specials and sales. So go check them out. Great product. Thank you very much for sponsoring the channel, Coffee Brand Coffee. Let's get back to the knife. So only a couple of small things. I said that the jimping on this was really good. I would have wanted the jimping to come a little further up. This is another one of those knives. There's just not enough jimp. The jimping that's on it is really good, but when you get way up on it like this, it's kind of slick. It really is kind of slick. And since it's good jimping, I would have wanted a little bit more of it just to go further up. Next thing, since it doesn't have a flipper tab, you have got there's no real choil on this. This is just like a finger groove on this. And when you start getting up here, if your hands are wet, you could slip up and over. And with the curvature of that on this really thin cutty blade, you could get yourself. I would have liked to have had maybe a little thicker handle with a small like finger spot. You see how that is? That would have been cool. But the fact is it doesn't, when you're up on it, you don't have anything really to stop you from going up and over, because there is some jimping here, but it's not really, it's the same good jimping you have up here, but it's not really making contact. You see what I'm saying? It's right there. It's not really making contact. It's almost worthless because it doesn't serve any purpose because it doesn't have a flipper. Next thing, the pocket clip is pretty long, even though it's really comfortable. I do dig it's really comfortable. It sits nice in the pocket. This is another one of those ones that the way it sits, because of the type of knife it is, the way it sits and where I carry it, I catch things on it. Most notably seat belts. I don't know what it is with me and these longer pocket clips. I think it's because typically these knives I'm carrying in the forward part of my pocket because they typically do have a deeper carry. I catch it on my seat belt, and I have screwed up so many pocket clips that are long like this by just getting out of the car, taking off my seat belt and yanking the pocket clip out at an angle. So last thing, start using the lanyard post. You could easily put a lanyard post on this. It's not too horrible on this knife, but this is a prime knife that could have just had a lanyard post in there as opposed to a lanyard hole. So all in all, I'm digging the knife. I am going to give it a quick sharpening. I'll see if I can bring that up just with a ceramic rod without necessarily having to sharpen it, because I just don't feel like sharpening a knife right now. I'm pretty sure I can. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit of a shine on that. And I do have some new stropping compound that I got from EDC and Lace over on Instagram. It's really good. It's a 9 micron. You guys should check out that stuff out. I'm going to do a video about that soon. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts and send you out about your day. Yeah, guys, this is an absolutely awesome knife. And since the filming of the body of the video, I did hit this on a ceramic rod and the strop loaded with that new strop compound, and it's incredibly sharp. Went back, tested it on some other cardboard. Really, really good. The finish is holding up very, very well. So we're going to see how much I like this over the course of the next few weeks. I'm going to do some testing on it. This is one I love having in my pocket. This is a great, great knife. So with that being said, that's the end of this video, guys. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. You don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Tell me why. I know I threw a sponsored ad in. I don't know what company, but there are 3. There's Tempered Trail, Coffee Brand Coffee, and Doll Strong Knives. Tempered Trail and Coffee Brand Coffee have a discount built in their link. But I also have a coupon code of Crazy Sharp, all one word, all lowercase, that works there. And also works at Beyond EDC, saves you 40% there currently. Also, Rosecraft Blades, Ferrum Forge Knife Works, 10% off on those. I'm working on getting more coupon codes for you guys. I have got vendors down below that are affiliates. You can take those vendors, use them to buy knives. I make a little bit of money at your purchase. It doesn't cost you anything. So I've got most of the major ones. I got Blade HQ, Knife Ship Free, GP Knives. I'm working on a couple others. I do have Vosteed down below, so there will be a link to this down below. I've also got an Amazon store. You can take that, pin it to your browser, use for any Amazon shopping you're going to do, especially around the holidays. It's a great time to do it. I have got a public Discord that I've built down below. There's a link to that. Join that community, hang out, converse with other knife nerds. I also have got a membership that has its own private Discord. I do giveaways there for specific tiers. I do exclusive content, and the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series that's here on YouTube behind the paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.